Hey everybody, welcome to Dad Talk today. We got a familiar friend, a familiar face, Mr. Larry Sharpe. We're at Freedom Fest 2021 in Rapid City. Larry, what's going on, brother?
I am out here trying to make the world a better place. I keep failing, but I keep trying.
Yep.
That's it. I haven't given up yet, at least.
You get knocked down, but you get back up again.
I do, as we all have to, right? That's
it.
The reality of life is, if you want to be happy, you got to be resilient.
That's it.
Right? You got to be resilient to be happy.
Well, talking about the resiliency, Larry, you kind of struck a nerve with me yesterday when we was talking about, we've been going out, talking to all these candidates, talking to the politicians.
Yep.
We find people that will fight for our issues.
Yep.
Everybody cheers about it, but when it comes election time, when you need support, what happens? I know you were very boisterous about fathers' rights.
I was, yes. I spent a lot, and I still do it. Like whenever people bring it up, I will do 10, 15 minutes on it. I talk about my plan to fix, in my state, New York State, how to fix the family court system there, how to break it up to make it fairer. I explain the racket that child support or any type of support, depending on what state you're in, right? What that racket that is, how the state makes money on it, how the judges are judged by it, and people can't believe it, and they don't realize that. Well, there are several things that I learned talking about this issue, is that most men who are, and some women, but mostly men, most men who are hurt by the court think they're alone. They think there's nobody else, it's only them, and they're also embarrassed to talk about it, right? Because they feel like they've been battered and beaten, they feel bad about it. But when I say, no, I got you, they go, oh my God, someone's listening to me. And when I tell people this, and I'm very practical on this, if we're gonna batter our family court, it's the most important court. How are we going to have less criminals and less civil suits if we have broken families, right? What is our prison filled with? Fatherless sons. Filled with them. Ask anybody who's been in prison and jail. Ask them, they'll tell you. Filled with people who have fathers out of their lives. And on a personal note, I didn't go through the system at all. But I lost my father when I was 12. I would have taken a broke dad over no dad any day of the week. And the state didn't take my dad. Cancer took my dad. And the state takes people's dads? No, and I tell people that, and they get it, and they go, wow, it's real. And people want to vote, and they want to see it and talk about it. But what was difficult for me is people in the movement, fathers who've been battered, would say, Larry, why are you the only candidate who would talk about this? And I'm very forward. Running for office is often about money.
Absolutely.
It is. It's about money. It is. And it's about votes. We know that statistically, the fathers who are battered in the court system have higher chances of being felons because the court system makes that happen to them, puts them in that position, so they can't vote. But not just that, they don't have any money because their money's either going to the court or to a lawyer or to their family. That's where all the money goes.
Yep.
They don't have any money. Well, if I'm some candidate, I want to get money out of you. Well, I can't get money out of you. That's why so many candidates will not support this movement, because it's not lucrative for them. And the last part is, if you support fathers' rights, you do risk the idea of being, oh, you're a woman hater.
Right.
You do risk that, and a lot of candidates don't want to do that. But if you see my campaign, I'm always about things that I believe is right. So I supported it. Even though all those things were true with me, I still supported it. But my frustration wasn't that the fathers wouldn't give me money. That wasn't it. It was that many of the fathers wouldn't give me time. Some did, and some showed up, and they were amazing, and I loved them. They would show up to the event, and I would tell them, they'd say, Larry, I have no money. No worries. Can you get a ride to an event and sit in a chair for an hour? And you might go, does that really help? Yes.
Absolutely.
That helps.
Yeah.
For you to just find an hour of your day, bum a ride, or get someone else who's going to give you a ride, sit in a chair when I'm at an event, everyone goes, oh, it's a bigger event, it matters, it's support, and more importantly, you can now tell your story. Or if I see you in there, I will then tell your story when I'm talking, and then people will notice that. The whole movement moves forward if you just show up, and a lot of people wouldn't do it. But more importantly, when the vote totals were cast, the fathers didn't vote for me. They either didn't show up or voted for someone else. I mean, I got about 100,000 votes when like 5 million people voted. Are you telling me there aren't that many fathers who are battered in New York State? They didn't show up. So many of them didn't show up to the events. Some did, and those of you watching did. Thank you, it was amazing. I get you don't have the cash, I do. But you could sit your butt in a seat for an hour once a month when I come by your area. You could do that. You could retweet my stuff. You could be a social media warrior. I need that too, right? All those things could have been done. And you could have showed up at the polling at the booth when the time came and pull that lever for me, and a lot of them didn't.
Right.
But to be forward with you, I still talk about the issue. It hasn't changed, so I'm here with you.
Well,
I still do it,
yeah.
right? And I did it not because I wanted the votes. I want the votes. But that's not why I did it. I did it because it was right. How can I fix a state with a sea of broken men? And behind that sea of broken men is a secondary sea of broken children. So how am I going to fix my state with that? I can't. I need men who are not broken to help me fix my state. So it's a practical piece to it also, right? So it's the right move, it's the right issue, it's the most important issue, and we have to work on it. But when people come to me and go, well, Larry, no one's talking about it, I go, you're looking at the guy who is. You're looking at the guy who is. And if I run again, I need you to show up.
Right.
You don't got to write me a check. You don't have it. I'm not mad at you for that. I get it. It's going to your kids or to your lawyer.
Hello,
Worse,
everyone.
probably going to your lawyer.
Welcome to
Right? So it's going to your lawyer or your kids.
Welcome
But you can show up, and when you're on Facebook
Have you
being
all
mad
over
at
to our
people,
bookstore
don't
to
be
get your
mad.
books
Instead,
out, meet your
share my
favorite
stuff.
Author. We
Do that
currently
instead.
have-
Do the least that are the most boisterous.
Yes.
All you're doing is nothing but talk. Or this, like, man, I'm in South Dakota. I came all the way up here from Georgia.
Yep.
You going around, campaigning, bringing that issue. When he
Absolutely.
goes and he's talking about fatherlessness, if he shows up at that
This year
building
we
and you're
also
not
have
showing up,
author
what does that
John
say about the
Barnes
issue?
signing books.
Yes.
Over
You
the
know,
bookstore.
what does that
Thank you.
say about the issue? What does that say about the support? And guys, people, numbers matter.
Yes.
Numbers matter.
100%.
If they see an empty building, that's a reflection of what they think about us.
100%. Yes.
So I'm glad you're on here, Larry, because this is something I battle all the time, but I'm in the inside of it. So they hear
Yes.
it from me all the time. But as a candidate that was
Yes.
running, what would you say to these guys? And what ways could we start to change this and really start getting some traction with it?
Think about how so many of the single issue voters vote. Say, for example, a passionate issue like, say, abortion,
Yep.
or gun rights, right? Or any of those passionate issues. If you are anti-2A, you will vote for anybody who will be anti-2A. You don't care about other issues. If you're pro-2A, you will vote for anybody who is pro-2A. You don't care about other issues. If this is your primary issue, it's affecting your life, stop fighting me on the fringes. Accept that I'm the guy who's going to push your issue. Win, lose, or draw, I'm the guy pushing your issue. If it doesn't matter that much to you, I get it. Maybe it's a secondary issue to you, and other things matter more.
Right.
No harm. It's fine. But if you're saying the guy who's online every day yelling about this every single day, well, then that's his primary issue.
Yep.
If that's your number one issue, act that way and say that's what matters more than anything. Everything else to the side. Let's move that issue forward.
You got to be a single issue voter.
You got to be a single issue voter. How many times are people getting people to vote for them on single issues? It is a common thing. The guy who loves cannabis and wants to have a cannabis farm and wants it, he doesn't care. He votes for the guy who's going to give him cannabis.
That's right.
He doesn't care about his foreign policy. He's like, that's my issue. If you're a single issue voter and you're acting that way, then be a single issue voter. Or don't, it's okay. But you can't talk trash and then not act.
Absolutely, man. I'm right there with you. Larry, can we look forward to you running again? Have
I
you
am
made a
out here at
decision?
Freedom Fest trying to find support to make that exact same thing happen.
All
That's
right.
what I'm trying to do.
And if we can change this, would you be willing to bring the issue up again?
100%, I still do. 100%.
Guys, get out there and
you
support
look,
the ones
If you look at
supporting
if you look actually at my old campaign page, still up, LarrySharpe.com, under policy, I have a family law section that's still there. I don't call it father's rights, I call it family law, which is
Right.
a much nicer way of saying it. Well, people will look at it.
Yep.
So, and it's a policy on how to make this work in New York State, which now anyone can copy in any state that's having a problem. So yes, already there.
All right, guys, we got to support the ones that support us. Larry, when that time comes, let me know. We'll be pulling for you, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, my
Hey,
friend.
man, good to see you
Yes.
again. Hey, everybody, Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/dadtalktoday, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time.